Don't go broke trying to look rich. Act your wage. A lot of Americans go in debt just to keep up with those who already are. Credit card debt is increasing at an alarming rate. Our economy has gone through a series of recessions and expansions. Although nobody can accurately predict when the next recession will occur or how severe it will be, at the pace credit card debt is increasing, there will be many Americans unable to withstand the financial burdens brought on by one. Many are just one paycheck away from bankruptcy. If we don't take action now to prepare for the next economic downturn, living with credit card debt is sure to spell disaster. Today we are going to discuss how much credit card debt Americans currently have, how society's acceptance to credit has encouraged many consumers to take on such debt, and what we can do to reduce our risks before the next economic downslope. Let's first review America's credit card balances. In January 2018, the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System announced that American consumers owed more than $1 trillion on their credit cards. This did not include other forms of debt, such as home mortgages, car loans, and student loans. Despite an improving economy, credit card balances continue to rapidly rise. Value Penguin compiled statistics reported by TransUnion in 2017, listing the average credit card debt by region. Alaska ranked number one for holding the highest balance in the United States, with the average cardholder carrying a balance of $10,091. Credit card interest rates are high, and they are expected to go even higher. Debt.org states that the average interest rate was 16.35% at the beginning of 2018, but is expected to climb to 17.1% by the end of the year. What does this mean for those carrying balances on their credit cards? As interest rates climb, so will the annual cost consumers pay on those balances. Using the January 2018 average interest rate and the average Alaskan's balance, the average Alaskan now pays $1,650 per year in interest alone. By the end of the year, those same individuals will be paying $1,723 on that balance. Now, at first glance, this may not seem like a significant difference, but many Americans are living paycheck to paycheck with little to no savings and making only the minimum payments on their cards. If consumers don't take the steps now to pay off their credit card balances, they may be facing increased rates in the very near future that may cause them unnecessary financial hardships. However, buying on credit is not a new concept. It has been in practice for centuries. Credit was previously offered by the local general store. The store carried the risk associated with the credit. Jesse Wright Mendoza, a journalist writing for The Week magazine, explains how Bank of America manager Joseph Williams recognized that consumers were using more credit than ever before, and how he had designed a system that would relieve the general stores from that risk in her article, A Brief History on Credit Cards. The first credit card was introduced in 1958, becoming ever more popular in the 80s. Credit card companies eventually figured out a way to reclaim their losses from the cardholders who defaulted on their cards. Their losses were trickled down to the cardholders in the form of interest rates. Consumers started carrying balances on their credit cards as their personal savings accounts were dwindling. Subprime lending became popular in the 90s as access to credit was expanded to include consumers with less than favorable credit histories. Back then, consumer confidence was high, and interest rates were low, which encouraged consumers to extend their credit even further. By 2004, bankruptcy filings had reached record highs. The ideal cardholder in the eyes of the credit card company were the ones that carried a high balance, racking up monthly interest charges. Those cardholders were more likely to incur late penalties and were vulnerable to fluctuating interest rates. Consumers had dug themselves in deep. It's not an easy hole to find one's way out of. Keeping these points in mind, it's not too late to fix the problem. Even those with significantly more credit card debt than the national average can take the necessary steps to regain control of their financial future. There are countless resources available online for consumers wanting help. Broadcaster Dave Ramsey has been preaching financial wisdom since 1992, sharing his own financial losses and triumphs over the years. He encourages everybody to create a budget that accounts for every penny. With a budget in place, the next step is to establish a $1,000 emergency fund that will not be touched for any reason other than for an emergency. Then start tackling your debt, smallest to largest. As you pay off the smaller debt, the payment freed up from that debt will be rolled over to the next smallest debt, increasing the size of the next payment by that amount. The payment of each debt that is paid off will be added to the next debt payment, escalating the size of the payments as you work your way up the debt ladder, until finally you have no more debt. Dave says financial peace isn't the acquisition of stuff, it's learning to live on less than you make. You can't win until you do this. In brief, financial freedom is attainable for most Americans. We just need to find the determination within ourselves to reach it. The average American carries significant credit card balances, often making only the minimum payments each month. By learning and understanding how credit cards have evolved over the years and how credit card companies use interest rates to reduce their losses, one can clearly see how the high balances currently being held by the cardholders puts the credit card companies at risk for even higher losses. Those companies will increase their interest rates to recover their losses, therefore putting the cardholders with high balances in an even tougher financial bind. It is a revolving door that we need to exit if we want to have a future that provides us with the financial freedom we deserve. By creating a budget, living within our means, and taking the drastic steps now to pay off our credit card balances, it is sure to help us reach that dream so we can live in financial peace. Thank you.